And good morning, everybody. I've been trying to decide what I am going to build next. I have a lot of kits, and I tend to lean more towards the Ford products. I like these classic Fords, and so I have a Nova, the Revell Nova as well. I was thinking of building that, and I have the 64 Mercury Marauder. I was thinking of building that next. Then the Trans Am, 78, 77 Trans Am, and then a 63 Nova Wagon. But I can't decide which direction I'm going to build those. So I just thought of this idea, and I like this idea. The reason why I bought this kit is because it's the 429 version. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow some of the stripes off of this kit and put them on the 429 version. And I'm going to borrow these wheels and put these wheels with these white walls. So Magnum 500s on white walls with a 429. And then I'm going to paint, I got two cans. I always get two cans, TS44 Brilliant Blue. So that's what will be going on this build. And kind of an odd configuration, but when these cars were sold originally, not every one of them came with wide oval tires. It was the 1970s. Not everybody was partial to white lettered tires. So a lot of times you'd look, I remember going into the car lots and you'd see these cars and the car would look really tough, and then it would have white walls on it. So, you know, you go to car shows, and a lot of the times the car shows present them with the wide ovals and so forth. But not every one of these cars came with them. So I think it's gonna look kind of cool, like Magnum 500s on white walls, brilliant blue. I haven't decided what direction I'm gonna go with the interior, and I'll borrow some stripes off of this kit. I think there might be white stripes in there. If not, I'll work with the black. So, which is what I do. I just tend to go with the flow when I build. Change the trajectory of my builds quite often. And see, like it's a skill level 4. I find the skill levels on these kits are rather misleading, because, you know, maybe a skill level 4 in terms of parts. But these modern kits are so well engineered, they basically fall together. If you have a moderate amount of model experience, or even a good fair amount of model experience, you can get them together looking good, because, you know, they have a higher parts count, of course, but they also go together much easier. Whereas you take older kits, I've spent more time on some of my older reissues than I have on some of my modern kits, simply because they go together. They're harder to get together. A lot of times you have warpage in the parts. You get an interior boot, for example, like when I built that one there, the interior boot had warpage, the chassis had warpage, and I had to spend a lot of time cleaning it up and then getting things to fit and line up. And same with that one, low parts count. And then this one, a higher parts count, newer kit, but it went together quite easily. And then of course the Mobius Cyclone, that went together fairly easily, but I didn't like the way the wheels were set up. They were too far back in the wells. So I did some cutting and moved everything forward and looked online at the actual car to get it close. And then my older Revell kit. But basically, those are my reference points when I discuss models. So a lot of times skill level is misleading. So that's just my personal opinion, and speaking from experience as well. So people can take it or leave it, but that's been my experience. And as a kid, I've tinkered with hundreds of these kits. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna go brilliant blue, and then possibly if there are white stripes in this one, but I'll probably use the black anyway. I didn't crack this kit open yet, so it's still sealed in the box because I wasn't sure how I was going to build it. But those wheels will also look good with the with the wide ovals, and I believe those are decals that go on the tire. But either way, it'll look good, I think, with those. So this car will look good with those wheels, and then this car will look good with those wheels. And then as an added flair of difference, I like building things that are just a little bit different. So I'll go with the white walls on a Boss, well, on a, what is it, a 429 Cobra jet car? Yeah, a Mach 1. So anyways, looks like this is going to be my next project. All right, everybody, thanks for viewing, thanks for subscribing, and hopefully I can get this one in paint this weekend, depending on the weather. All right, thank you.